Today is the 11th. Today was our first day with characters. I went through my first monologue and looked at the given circumstances. I created a list of facts, of things that we know must happen and things we know because of what happens. I then asked questions based upon these facts, things that I still need to know about the character, need to create answers for about the character. Then from that, I looked at research. Something I found interesting that I wasn't expecting to find was that my character must have really good hearing, because we know that there's a train rushing in, the train comes rushing in, lots of wind, lots of loud noises, and my character can still hear a tiny little bouncing ball bouncing up and down. So they must be able to lock onto that. And then I thought, maybe it's not just hearing, maybe he's got... Maybe he's got something that makes him pick out certain objects. Maybe he's got some kind of illness that does that. Because I also discovered that they get quite agitated by the noise. So I'm wondering if it is a fear of the noise, whether it's a fear of a train in particular or just loud noises. So I want to research how loud noises can affect the human brain, and then different illnesses that might do that to a person, sort of thing. I also think from the description, everything becomes a whirlwind and they get very stressed and they don't like the people there to start with. So I'm wondering if this person has social anxiety and then it might become a panic attack or an anxiety attack. So I'm going to research all of that. I think it would be good to have a vague knowledge of what would actually happen if a woman fell in front of a train on a platform, sort of railway policies and stuff. Because that's one big question that we don't know. We don't actually know whether someone falls on the tracks. So I think that, I don't know if that's going to be a me decision or a Nigel decision or a group decision. The butterfly. The butterfly doesn't actually fly. It just sort of sits there. She gets hit, I keep saying she because today's the first day that it's been a he. He gets hit in the ball. He gets hit by the ball. We don't know where it is. That's another question. We don't know where they actually get hit. I'm thinking on the head, just because we then know that he gets quite dizzy and disorientated, and he says the world freezes and he starts to fall over, but he doesn't actually fall over. So I want to know what's going on there, and I want to try and research what that could be. And then he sees a butterfly, and it's almost in this chaotic, stressful moment of the woman falling over and the flowers flying and the ball bouncing and the train coming in and the people standing. It's almost this moment of calm. The actual text slows down. Instead of being full lines, it's just word, 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 where I presume Lomas wanted it slowed down, wanted the actual physical pace of the whole monologue, perhaps all the movement on the scene, if we end up having other movement on the scene, like we experimented with yesterday, completely slows down. Well, they talk about butterfly, this tiny, fragile thing, sort of hovering, somehow suspended for a moment, and then I feel it, the force, and I'm falling, sort of spinning through space, and I turn my head, and there's this, and it all speeds up after that. But there's a pause, there's that distinct slowing of pace while talking about the butterfly, and the actual butterfly is just said to be hovering there, frozen in place, which of course is very unnatural, I presume. I'll definitely need to research butterflies to find out. But yeah, I was wondering if it's actually there. Is it some kind of daydream, or is it some kind of daydream? Is it some kind of imagination, a vision of some kind? And I wonder if that's what's distracting them from catching the person, catching the woman with the flowers. I just want to know the symbolism and stuff of that. I don't really understand that, so that's definitely something I need to research. Talking about symbolism, I'm going to research the symbolism of yellow flowers. I think that would be something interesting to find out about the character, about the scene that the character's in. And then I need to look at divorced parents, because although my parents are divorced, I'd like to know different experiences, how it can affect the child from a scientific point of view, why things like that happen. Just because we know that that's something that's obviously playing on this character's mind quite a lot. I think I need to establish a time period for this monologue, because it's early in the morning, but it's late enough that the sun should be up, except the lights are on and we're noticing the lights. So is this person very noticeable of the lights, or is it dark so the lights seem more prominent? In which case it must be in winter. But it also says it's quite hot and stuffy. Is that the actual temperature, or is that just because of all the bodies? And then if it is just because of all the bodies, that relates into an anxiety attack, a panic attack, where someone's hyperventilating, and then that would affect the way I'm going to have to breathe and my pace and tempo rhythm. Yeah, I'd have to start breathing. There's quite a lot of punctuation in it. There's a lot of ellipsis, ... which suggests to me the person it's like they're actively trying to think about it. They have a very good memory. If this is a memory, one of the theories we talked about was that it could be a police incident. Someone is reporting to the police what happened. In that case, they're trying to use their memory. They have a very good memory, but it is coming to them. They go, there's lots of, and then this happened, and this happened. Which makes me think that it is someone, perhaps, with a photographic memory, someone that can remember these small details, the exact time, the temperature, the feelings, the sounds. It talks about every sense except taste and... Yeah, it talks about every sense except taste and smell, which I think is interesting. So I definitely want to look into things like autism that this character may have that allows them to notice all of these details. And then ideas that we've spoken about as a class, which I need to consider, because I also have the last monologue, which I haven't looked at in as much detail yet. However, they do not seem to connect. Unlike the character of Dan or Emily, they don't have a clear through story, a clear character arc and journey. The first one, we talk about how my parents are divorced and now I'm on a platform and I'm seeing these people. The next one is I'm in a car driving past these people. So one of the ways we explain that is perhaps it's alternate timelines. It's showing how small effects, the parents getting split up perhaps, lead to different outcomes. Or it could be a dream, and the person, me, in the car at the end, is looking back upon the entire text, seeing all of these people and imagining their lives, imagining what my life would be like if I was on a train platform when there was an accident, imagining how that could have happened. We talked about how it could be police reports, different people's perspectives from the same thing. But then I'm not quite sure how my part 3 monologue and the monologue train would go together. My initial worries of playing this character is that I need to not get self-conscious in class, because I'm the only actor in the ensemble that doesn't have a partner. I'm the only person that only has monologues, which means, for example, today in class, when we were told go and work in your groups, go and write in your groups, go talk in your groups, it's just me. And I need to get not self-conscious and go, yeah, I'm doing a monologue. When it comes to doing feedback and showing everyone what we did to get feedback, seeing what we've done that lesson, I need to go, yeah, I might be the only person doing a monologue, everyone else is doing duologues, and I need to make sure that I don't almost get scared, bring my levels down, be a lot more timid. I need to keep up my boldness and being brave. And then related to that, in a way, almost the opposite, funny enough, the characters I usually play, or, normally go to, are much bigger, much louder, much more characteristic, expressionate, whereas this character seems a lot more closed off, a lot more scared, a lot more frightened. So I think that's going to be a challenge, to sort of rein myself in when it comes to it, rein myself down to create a much more naturalistic piece rather than over-the-top expressionist.